It's that time of year again. This Sunday, our clocks go back an hour, marking an end to daylight saving time. But if you remember last statewide election, Californians largely voted to keep daylight saving time. So why are our clocks still changing? Let's connect the dots. On November 6, 2018, California voters passed Prop 7 with about 60% of the vote. Californians told the state legislature they're allowed to create a bill that would keep daylight saving time so we don't have to keep changing our clocks. While 3 assembly members introduced a bill, no action has been taken on it yet. Not only does the bill have to be approved by 2/3 of the state legislature, but Congress, as in D.C., also has to approve that change. And it's all easier said than done. If you're wondering, well, Californians are not alone in this effort. Florida's actually approved a bill that would put the state 1 hour ahead of the rest of the East Coast. The bill is still waiting approval from Congress. Same goes for Arkansas, Washington, Tennessee, Oregon, Nevada, and Alabama. It seems Arizona and Hawaii are still the only ones who do not change their clocks, and it might stay that way for a while.